I've finally come up with an explanation to why video games, and more importantly PvP games, have gone to shit. Recently, no one has really been happy with the state of video games because of the many factors that have led the hardcore gaming community, and to some extent the casual community, to feel forgotten. Recently, streamers and such have been showing their discontent with video games, and only seem to be doing it for the money because it's their job, or because they still have hope for a game that they once loved. The companies and our player base can be related a lot to the government, and that the game companies add more rules and regulations and limit a player to be free, and have their choices impact the game itself. Here's the problem with the gaming industry. The companies. The companies involved with our favorite video game franchises have been sold off, and the direction in terms of balance and gameplay has shifted completely in order to gain more revenue. This has been seen in mostly any EA game that has been coming out recently. If you don't have money, you probably don't or have or want anything to do with EA, but since the company is still running, they don't care, and they'll keep pumping out garbage that fans will feel obligated to buy. Bethesda's Fallout 76 was a major disappointment. The fact that the trailer and the hype man made the game look more appealing than it actually was so deceptive to the fans that love and have passion for Fallout and its lore. It's almost like a spit in their faces. You don't only see this happening with single player games. When it comes to PvP games, companies have begun to shift their balance and game style to appeal to more people in order to get more money. The community of people that still keep these toxic communities alive don't feel like their voices are being heard when they ask for games to return to its former glory. Although their implementation of it was interesting, CSGO added a battle royale mode that kinda seemed unfinished and seemed like a way to increase their player base. In League of Legends, the game has been tuned to be more balanced for teams. There's less of a variety and options for builds, and tanks, which are the easy picks, seems to always be in the meta. In Overwatch, easier characters were added and no aim characters were added, and the easier and fatter characters such as Diva, Ryan, Junkrat, they were buffed. Obviously because the balanced teams and the people running the direction of these games seem to be only focused on the money. And the only way to get people to spend money is to make the game easier to access for casual players. Blizzard also shat on the player base by spitting on Diablo fans with the mobile version of Diablo. Diablo was never meant to be a phone game, nor should Diablo's name be used in a trash sequel, because it's a spit on the Diablo community, and it's a blatant attempt to get everyone playing Diablo, and it's a scummy attempt and a cash grab that was reflected in their reaction.
Lord Fluffy, face of Diablo. I was curious.
Fluffy.
I was curious. I see a lot of mechanics that we kind of been begging for in Diablo 3 in this. Is there any plans to make this playable on PC, or is this strictly mobile forever?
Are there any? The current plan is to be on mobile, both Android and iOS. We don't have any plans at the moment to do PC. Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have
Everyone's got a
phones,
phone.
right?
You can play on your tablet too.
Yes, it's also on the Switch. You're right.
Well, this is going to be a good question then, because it's about why it's going to mobile.
Okay.
In particular, the majority of the games are PC-oriented, with Blizzard, Hearthstone being one of the other mobile games. Why bring it to mobile? Are you trying to reach a new audience of players?
We're always trying to reach a new audience. We always want more people to join the Blizzard community. We want more people to come to BlizzCon, more people to play Diablo. And this is a great opportunity for that, and we're very excited about it.
Play Diablo anytime, anywhere, with anyone. Sounds pretty awesome to me.
Yeah, I would say that our mobile phones are actually super powerful supercomputers. I think we treat them, for social media and text messaging, but they can do so much more than that. If you look at the technical specs on a mobile phone today and compare to supercomputers from just 5 years ago, we're walking around with full-fledged gaming. Thank you.
Hey, just was wondering, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
No, it's a fully fledged Diablo experience on mobile.
In Street Fighter V, frames were deliberately changed in order to hit combos easier and to lower the reaction time that you have to have in order to distinguish a good player from an average player. These are only some of the many examples in the gaming community where games are changed in order to be more appealing and easier to casual players. Honor in PvP. Due to the lack of love and passion put into the direction and gameplay and balance of these games, the gaming community has completely lost its honor and passion for video games, and a hatred amongst each other has begun in the brackets where most people play. This is a societal problem because most anger stems from childhood trauma or some shit, but the video game itself should not bring up these problems and cause people to be mad at each other, because video games have never been a way to make people fight, at least to me, before Mario Party of course, fuck that shit. This lack of honor that's in community and lack of respect for your own teammates, for your own audience, and for the people that spend their money on said games is a disgrace to what video games mostly started out as. A test of skill, patience, virtue, and aim. Only the most dedicated players would climb and feel good playing every game. In a game like StarCraft, the better player always wins, and it shows. Maybe confidence is a factor, but when you lose, you always know and feel like you could have done better. Unlike in games like Overwatch and League, where the direction in terms of balance has made every game a coin flip. Just like in real life, you can't just have equality just because you ask the government that some asshole is doing better than you. Working hard to become better is what made PvP games an honorable place to be, where your rank was respected and wasn't a badge of how lucky you were while climbing or how scummy you had to play to climb.
Because I'm not in the same rank as you, and you don't even realize that this game takes no skill whatsoever. In this video, I get 2 masters from gold rank in 1 week. That is how sad that this game and its community are. In this video, I'm going to show you several things. How easy it is to climb in this game, how you don't have to be good whatsoever to be a high rank, how on a whim, I chose to be masters, and how Brigitte is actually overpowered and broken. This character should not be allowed to be played in this game at all. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how sad Overwatch competitive is. She's my most played character, and what I've noticed is that the more I play a character, the lower the win percentage is. But my win percentage on Brig is 76% versus the Mercy, which is the second most played character that I have right now, at 44%. There used to be a meme that was like, you could get 2 masters playing only Mercy, and I personally don't think that that was ever true, because with Mercy, you at least had to have a competent team. But with this character, this is just fucked. Out of 35 games, I've only lost 8, which is gross. That is...
If companies focused more on loving their community and game rather than focusing on the money they can make, how much more they can add into the game that's purchasable, and how they can entice noobs and casual players, games would flourish by themselves, and people won't feel left out or spat upon by companies we also once loved. Rank does not matter anymore in mostly any popular PvP game. For example, when Overwatch first came out, the community was so incredible, and there was a lot of honor. If you had skill, it showed. If you're good, you're in a better league. Genji, yes, I know fucking Genji, is actually a staple to the direction of where this game is headed. Before Genji's mechanics were changed slightly to nerf him, Genji would dominate the brackets, and good players would shine in the high list of elos. But because the gaming community got tired of the good players, they just outright nerfed Genji and buffed other heroes while adding multiple counters to him. The honor no longer is present for players that once were considered broken for being better. And listen, there is some bias because I'm a Genji main, but the real reason Genji was nerfed was due to higher elo games being impossible to play due to Genji players being way too good. I think a better direction would have been to buff the characters that are weak to him, or even to lower the speed of all characters. People will outright ignore or insult you simply for picking something off meta or not good, or for not picking more CC and healing because of the direction of the balance. This is outright retarded because nobody should be telling anybody how to play a video game. Each rule and regulation just makes it harder and harder for players to be themselves. When a game is treated with love, the player base will love each other and there will be honor again. But companies are focused on the money, and this greed is reflecting on the players today. the lack of honor and the exploitation of something beautiful has led to the destruction of what it once used to be. Trending does not mean it's a good product. The presentation of video games and the representation of the gaming community has become so flawed, with companies like GDQ censoring its communities and its backlash, Twitch making it harder and harder to be yourself, and the poor representation of the gaming community as fat kids in their basement doing nothing for society is another downfall for honor and has caused this greed to begin in the gaming industry. I find it unjust that you have to be a subscriber or donator in order to chat in a chat room where someone is simply playing a video game, which should not be played for money in the first place. If a person shows their passion and love for a video game and it shows in how well they play and how unaffected by toxicity they are, the money that they need to survive will come to them and it won't feel their wants as much as their needs. I know that I shouldn't shit on Twitch streamers for their come-ups, but the concept itself is how video games were ruined in the first place. The presentation of the game became more hyped up than playing the game itself. Imagine for a second if FIFA made soccer balls 3 times bigger and bouncier in order to make the game more interesting for the viewer. The player would have to completely change how they play, and there would be dissatisfaction in the game present in the community. In real life, you can just get a normal size soccer ball, but the FIFA players have to adapt because it's literally their job. In video games, however, everyone has to adapt because it's just what it is, and people lack the skills to just make their own video game because that takes years of hard work and dedication. I'm starting to see the gaming community become more and more hateful towards the companies themselves and towards each other, and this is the wrong direction to be taking because in real life, the government will add regulation after regulation to solve problems instead of humans trying to learn to simply love each other and their passions and not the money behind it. The solution is to vote the only way we can, with our wallets. And with more and more boycotting and stocks dropping during this shitty year of gaming, video game companies will start to change the way they act because at the end of the day, they need us. We don't need them. Video game companies and its regulations that have been put on us are the reason that we have such discomfort and less of a feel for the game itself. You don't feel like you're playing anymore. The game just plays you.